we get a lot of commissioning RFPs out there. People are looking for more, the general HVAC emergency power systems. But what we're finding out there is we need to start diving deeper in some of the systems that are out there. So there's kind of two RFPs out there. There's commissioning light, and there's I want to see everything going on with the building. So, so typical, general HVAC, emergency power, this is always covered. It's covered in energy guidelines or the Energy Standard Energy Code. It's covered in LEED, stuff like that. But where we're starting to see most of the problems come out here is when we get into the bigger scopes, and some things that we see that should start being included is fire smoke and fire and smoke dampers. So 3 different categories: critical space receptacle testing, and then coordination study settings. So, typical commissioning RFPs, they're not specifically calling this stuff out. And this stuff really takes more of a specialized focus because it does include more time to actually look at these things and to get more and to dive deeper into what the scope's going to be. So, you're probably like, oh, the commissioning guy here is giving a presentation, he's pushing scope. Well, yes and no. I mean, all buildings get commissioned, right? Whether you do it during construction or whether after the construction's done, whether you figure out what the problems are and correct them on your own. At least when you're doing the commissioning during construction, the CXA and the owner have the power to make sure that the contractors, the CM, everyone's on hook to go and give you systems that operate properly, can be maintained, are designed, can meet your joint commission requirements for testing in the future, all that other great stuff. So, how much extra time does this take? This commissioning, we're not selling an air handler, we're not selling a receptacle, we're not doing this. We sell time. Our time brings value. So kind of breaking that commodity down in time, for fire smoke dampers, it's about 15 minutes per damper installation. And when I get into this, I'll explain why. About 30 minutes for actually testing the damper if it's a dynamic fire damper. You're about 15 minutes a damper if you're a fire smoke, because it's more verification, where the dynamic damper is actually physically moving something, opening it and closing it. So NFPA 99 testing receptacles in patient rooms, you can go through a whole patient room in about 15 minutes with the right devices. And then electrical coordination study settings, it's about 10 minutes per panel, because lots of times with these new breakers, you're actually scrolling through a screen, comparing your values. You actually spend more time filling out your checklist than you're actually looking at something.